Hello and welcome. I hope that you're all doing well. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at hooks and states to understand how we can actually create interactions with our interface in order to take action based on an event that happens in the actual interface itself. So let's go over the code and take a look at what we can do. So inside of the code that we currently have, I'm just going to create some small changes. I'm going to remove this array. And we'll remove everything but the fragments inside of here. And what I want to do is I want to create 3 buttons. And when you click on each of the buttons, a different product is displayed on the screen. So you click on one button and it says like laptop, another one says desktop, another one says keyboard. That's the idea of what we're going to do here. Now, in order to do this, we're actually going to have to do something called keeping track of the state of our React application. So a state tells you what is currently set in the application. So it sort of keeps track of information for the current situation or state of the application itself. And what this is useful for is it's useful for being able to change a page based on events that happen. So for example, you can set a state to initially display the text product desktop on the screen. And then as people click on buttons, we can change the state to be the laptop state, and then maybe the keyboard state, and then maybe there's one to go back to the desktop state. So that gives us 3 different states that exist in our application, with the idea being that when you click on a button and we transition states, we can change the application to match that particular button. So we can make it so that everything is related to the desktop or everything is related to the laptop. It gives us a way of being able to modify the state of the application to make it react to what the user is doing on the application itself. So to create a state, what we do is we say const, and we need to have 2 components. The first is the variable name, and then a variable that it's used to set the value of this variable. So it's going to set the value of product. So whenever we want to set product's value, we use set product. Whenever we want to reference the value of product, we use product. And this together is a state. A state is basically just a variable that has a value, and then a way that we're able to set that variable's value as the web page is being used by the user. And we typically initialize this using the useState keyword. You can see it by default imported in for me from the React library. Now this can be initialized to anything that you would really like. In this case, I'm going to initialize it to some text, which is going to be desktop. So when someone first visits the page, the product variable is going to have the value desktop. And then as they interact with the page, we will change that actual state as it needs to be changed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a header, and that header is just going to say products. So I'll just say products. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a paragraph that says you want to purchase, and then we're going to get the value of product. So we're going to put in these brace brackets, product. So what's going to happen is when this web page first loads, product is set equal to desktop. And when this first loads, it's going to say you want to purchase and then get the value of product, which in this case is desktop. So we'll say you want to purchase desktop. Maybe we should put A. You want to purchase a desktop, right? So when we come back over into the code, you'll see that it now shows you want to purchase a desktop. So that's the first part there. So far, everything looks to be working as expected. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 different buttons, and each of them is going to change this to a different product. So we'll have one for laptop, one for desktop, and one for keyboard. So let's see how that can work. We'll go back over to our code. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a button. The type, of course, will be button. And then the on-click event is going to actually change the value of the product. So what it's going to do is it's going to do this. It's going to say set product laptop. So in this case, what this is doing is it's going to set the product's value to laptop. So it's going to run this set product, which is going to change the product variable to be equal to laptop instead of desktop. And then we'll just put some text in the button that just says laptop. So let me show you what that does. Let's go back over to our screen here. When we click on laptop, you see it changes to laptop instead of desktop. So you can see it actually does change. So it's setting the product, and then the product actually changes because the state of the application has changed to now display product as laptop rather than desktop. Now, the last thing that we're going to do here is we're just going to copy this a few more times and apply that with some other transitions. So let me go ahead and just copy this button here. So we'll copy this twice. We'll say button and button. This one will be desktop, and we'll do this one as keyboard. And this could be desktop, and this could be keyboard. Okay, so now when we go over to our code, we now have 3 buttons: laptop, desktop, keyboard. And you can see that we can change through all the states as we need. So we can go laptop, desktop, keyboard as required. So this shows you the general idea of states, as well as being able to change those states using what are called hooks. The hooks are the things that allow us to actually set the value of the states, and then the state is what is actually the variable in the background that's being changed. So it should help you understand how you can make your interfaces more dynamic based on the interactions that users have with that interface. So thank you for watching this video. In the next video, we're going to continue to look at some ways that we can apply states and understand some more things that we can do with our actual applications themselves.